You were never meant to hear this story. Not officially. No broadcast ever admitted it. No alien archive ever listed it under first contact victories. And no human history book ever wrote the truth. So before this story disappears again, subscribe, stay awake, and listen carefully. Because what you're about to hear is why the galaxy fears the word marine. You grow up believing Earth is ordinary. Crowded cities. Endless arguments. Wars that never fully end. You never suspect that, to the rest of the galaxy, your planet has a different name. Penal World 739. Designation: Death Compatible. Status: Isolation Zone. The galaxy doesn't conquer Earth, they avoid it. Not because humans are strong, but because humans are broken in a very specific way. The first species to discover humanity doesn't make contact. They observe. For decades, silver observation arrays sit beyond Pluto, watching your species fight itself with horrifying creativity. Watching you survive plagues, radiation, famine, and wars that should have ended you. Their analysts write one sentence that gets forwarded, copied, and eventually classified. This species adapts faster under pressure than in peace. That sentence scares them. So when the Galactic Council faces a problem, a different kind of species problem, they remember Earth. The Council rules over thousands of civilizations. Most are gentle, logical, predictable, but not all. Some species are violent, not mindless. Not savage, just born with instincts that never switch off. Fast reflexes, high aggression thresholds, unusual tolerance for pain, an unsettling ability to enjoy conflict. The Council doesn't execute these species. That would be inefficient. Instead, they exile them. Earth becomes the dumping ground. The first ships arrive quietly. They don't land near cities. They don't announce themselves. They drop from orbit in sealed pods, scattered across deserts, tundras, oceans, and jungles. Inside those pods are beings labeled as monsters by galactic standards. Predators with claws that can shear steel. Insectoids bred for war who don't know how to stop fighting. Reptilians with reinforced bones and redundant organs. Mammalian shock troopers engineered for endless frontline combat. Each one is implanted with a simple directive: survive or die. Do not leave the planet. The Council expects Earth to finish the job. Instead, something else happens. You're a Marine recruit when the first rumors spread. Unconfirmed reports. Weird body cam footage leaked and scrubbed. Stories that get labeled as hoaxes and conspiracy theories. A patrol in Alaska wiped out by something moving too fast. A cartel compound in South America found emptied walls clawed, bodies missing. A Russian listening post in Siberia goes dark without a single distress call. The official explanation is always the same. Training accident, wildlife encounter, equipment malfunction. But you've seen enough war to recognize a lie when it wears a uniform. The truth reaches you during a classified briefing. No press, no flags, no speeches. Just a dark room, a hologram, and a general who looks 10 years older than last week. On the display, a grainy video loops. A squad of humans pinned down in an urban ruin. Something moves through the smoke. Fast. Too fast. It tears through an armored vehicle like paper. Rounds hit it and slow it, but don't stop it. It bleeds. It roars. It keeps coming. Then something unexpected happens. The thing stops, looks at the Marines, and waits. The general clears his throat. "Ladies and gentlemen," he says, voice flat, "we believe Earth is being used as a penal colony For extraterrestrial war species, no one laughs. You don't laugh either, because part of you already knew. The briefing continues. Satellite tracking shows thousands of drop signatures over the last 20 years. The creatures are fighting each other, fighting wildlife, fighting human forces, and adapting, learning languages, learning tactics, learning restraint. Survival doesn't turn them into animals. It turns them into soldiers. Then comes the slide that changes everything. A projection of deep space, alien war fleets, burning colonies, civilizations erased in days. The same Galactic Council that exiled these monsters is now losing a war. A war they started. A war they can't win. And for the first time in history, they come to Earth. The transmission is short, polite, measured, cold. They request military assistance. Humanity laughs. Then the Council adds a single clause. You may keep any surviving exiles you deploy. The room goes silent. You realize what they're offering. Not allies, assets. The first contact with an exile unit happens under armed supervision. A containment hangar, auto turrets primed, Marines lining the walls. The doors open, and they walk out, not charging, not snarling, standing at attention. Creatures the galaxy calls uncontrollable monsters, standing still because they recognize discipline when they see it. One of them steps forward, 8 feet tall, scarred, one eye missing. Through a translator, it speaks. Do you fight for survival or for purpose? No one answers. You step forward. For each other, you say. The creature bares its teeth. Not a threat. A smile. Training begins within weeks. The Council watches, horrified, as humans do the unthinkable. You don't try to tame the exiles. You integrate them. You teach them squad tactics, rules of engagement, honor codes. You don't suppress their violence. You aim it, and the monsters understand immediately. The first joint operation is a disaster for the enemy. An alien stronghold falls in under 3 hours. No unnecessary slaughter. No chaos. Just relentless, coordinated aggression. Human Marines advance calmly. Exiles breach, flank, and eliminate. Wounded are extracted human and alien alike. The battlefield goes silent. The galaxy watches in disbelief. A Council observer sends a panicked report. They didn't unleash the monsters. They gave them a flag. You stand on the ruined platform afterward, armor scorched, heart hammering. Beside you, the exile commander kneels not for weakness, but respect. We were cast out, it says, called irredeemable. You look across the stars where Earth waits. Welcome to the Marines, you reply. And somewhere far away, the Galactic Council realizes something too late. Earth wasn't a dumping ground. It was a recruitment center. You don't notice the change at first. Wars are loud things, and this one spans light years. Front lines blur. Victories stack up. Losses are counted in planets instead of people. But slowly, quietly, the tone of galactic transmissions shifts. At first, it's disbelief, then confusion, then panic. The joint units don't have an official name yet. On paper, they're called Integrated Auxiliary Forces. In the field, everyone just calls them Marines. Human Marines, Exile Marines, same armor design, same insignia, same rules. Bleed together, die together. Fight like something the galaxy has never prepared for. You deployed to a shattered trade hub orbiting a blue giant star. Enemy forces hold the ring station's automated turrets, shield grids, kill corridors designed to break morale before bodies. Most species avoid boarding actions. They're too personal. You don't. The exiles move first. Not charging, advancing. Each step measured. Each motion controlled. Their instincts, once labeled uncontrollable, now sharpened into precision. One of them, a massive quadrupedal species once feared for berserker rages, moves point. It signals silently. The humans understand immediately. No words, just trust. The breach lasts 6 seconds. The enemy never recovers. Human fire pins them. Exiles tear through defensive nodes. Someone tries to surrender. They're taken alive. That's what shocks the observers most. Because this is the detail the Council never anticipated. You didn't recruit monsters. You taught them restraint. Reports begin piling up. Enemy units abandoning fortified positions when scanners detect exile biometrics. Commanders ordering orbital retreats at the first sight of mixed species armor. Civilian populations broadcasting pleas directly to human channels, bypassing Council networks entirely. Send the humans. Send the ones who control the monsters. Behind closed doors, the Galactic Council fractures. Some delegates argue for escalation. Others demand immediate ceasefire. A few very quietly ask whether Earth can be contained. They remember too late why they chose exile instead of execution. You learn about the second layer of the truth during a classified intelligence drop. The exiles were never meant to survive. Earth's gravity, radiation exposure, microbial ecosystems. The Council assumed the planet itself would kill them. Instead, Earth hardened them, just like it hardened you. An exiled commander stands beside you during the briefing. Once, its species ruled 3 systems. Now they share bunks with humans and polish armor between deployments. What will they do now? It asks. You don't answer immediately. You already know. They try to separate you. The Council announces a restructuring of command authority. Human forces are thanked for their assistance and ordered to withdraw to Sol-adjacent operations. Exile units are reassigned, placed under direct Council oversight. Different ships, different supply chains, different objectives. They call it operational efficiency. You call it a death sentence. The first exile unit to comply is annihilated within a week. Bad intel, delayed reinforcements, weapons locked behind authorization they don't have. Officially, it's a tragedy. Unofficially, it's a test. Your comms light up. Exiles asking questions. Human officers demanding explanations. Frontline units refusing to redeploy without their brothers and sisters. The Council issues warnings, then threats, then sanctions, and then someone fires the first real shot. A Council security fleet jumps into a human-controlled logistics system without clearance. They seize fuel depots, detain personnel, attempt to confiscate integrated unit rosters. They underestimate one thing. You don't fight like a Council military. You fight like Marines. The boarding action is brief, surgical, no civilian casualties, no unnecessary destruction. Just a clear message transmitted on every frequency the Council uses. We do not abandon our own. The fleet is escorted out, disarmed, humiliated, alive. That last part is intentional. Fear spreads faster when witnesses survive. The exiles watch the transmission in silence. Some kneel. Some lower their heads. One, an insectoid once engineered to feel no loyalty, at all, clicks its mandibles softly. Gratitude. From that moment on, something irreversible happens. They stop seeing Earth as a refuge. They start seeing it as home. The enemy notices too. Their strategy changes. No more fortified defenses. No more holding territory. They start targeting population centers, human worlds. The first burned colony breaks something in you. A city reduced to glass. Emergency shelters breached. Civilian signals cut mid-scream. The Council condemns the attack. There's nothing else. The exiles respond before command authorization even clears. They don't ask permission. They ask for coordinates. What follows becomes known much later as the 7-hour campaign. 7 hours. 3 enemy systems. Total collapse. You're there for the final engagement. Enemy command bunker, buried beneath kilometers of reinforced alloy. They expect siege weapons. They expect orbital strikes. They expect time. They get exiles. An exile Marine tears open the first hatch barehanded. Not in rage, in focus. Human Marines flow in behind, clearing corridors, securing control rooms, extracting prisoners. The enemy commander broadcasts a surrender. Too late, not because you won't accept it, but because the message was sent after the civilian evacuation order was denied. When it's over, you stand in the wreckage. The exiles don't celebrate. They understand consequences better than anyone. One of them approaches you. The galaxy will never forgive this, it says. You nod. We're not asking for forgiveness. Back on Earth, recruitment offices see lines stretching for kilometers. Humans want in. Not because of glory. Because they've seen what happens when you let someone fight alone. The Council issues its final declaration. Earth is declared a Class 1 strategic threat. All diplomatic ties severed. All human systems marked for containment. The word Marine is officially reclassified in Council databanks as unstable force multiplier. You read the declaration aboard a carrier surrounded by humans and exiles alike. No one looks surprised. One exile breaks the silence. They still think we are the monsters, it says. You look around at your unit. At scars earned protecting worlds that were never yours. At least, you reply, they finally learn to be afraid of the right thing. And far beyond the stars, the galaxy prepares for a war it no longer understands. Because Earth didn't just recruit the monsters. Earth gave them something worth protecting. They don't announce the invasion. There's no declaration. No warning broadcast. No attempt at justification. The Galactic Council simply flips a switch. Navigation beacons around Sol go dark. Trade lanes collapse into static. Observation arrays reposition inward. Containment begins. They call it a stability action. You call it what it is, an extinction rehearsal. The first wave never reaches Earth. Human picket fleets intercept them beyond the heliopause. Old ships, retrofit armor. Crews that know they're outmatched on paper. They hold anyway. Not to win, to buy time. On Earth, sirens don't scream. They hum. Low, calm, measured. The sound of a planet that has accepted reality and chosen defiance. You stand in the command center beneath a mountain range older than civilization itself. Around you, human officers and exile commanders share tactical overlays without hesitation. No species labels. No divisions. Just Marines. The Council expected chaos. They expected fear. They expected the exiles to turn feral under pressure. Instead, they see discipline tighten. The exiles take leadership roles instinctively. They've been hunted before, abandoned before, declared irredeemable before. This isn't new. What is new is that this time they aren't alone. Enemy fleets push hard. Precision strikes. Planet crackers held in reserve. Psychological warfare flooding every channel. Council representatives broadcast messages directly to Earth. Return the exiles. Surrender command authority. This war can still be avoided. You don't respond. Instead, you transmit something else. A single file. Unedited battlefield footage. Human medics treating wounded exiles. Exiles shielding human civilians with their own bodies. Mixed species squads extracting children from burning colonies. No narration, no commentary, just truth. The broadcast spreads faster than any weapon, across neutral systems, across council space, into worlds that have only ever known council-approved reality. The galaxy watches monsters choose mercy, and humans choose loyalty. That's when the council panics. They authorize directive silence, the weapon no one is supposed to know exists. A reality-shearing device designed to erase planetary biospheres without destabilizing star systems. Clean, quiet, final. Earth is scheduled. You learn about it from an exile. One of the oldest. A species engineered for long memory and longer grudges. They used this before, it says. On us. Your hands clench. When? You ask. When we stopped being useful. The room goes still, then busy. Orders ripple outward. Fleets realign. Assets mobilize. There's no shouting, just purpose. The plan isn't to stop the weapon. That would be impossible. The plan is to make sure it's never fired again. Anywhere. Every exile species contributes something the Council once feared. Hyper-adaptive tactics. Biological resilience. Instinctive coordination under chaos. Humanity provides the framework, logistics, strategy. One brutal, elegant idea. You don't defend Earth. You advance. Marine fleets punch through Council borders in coordinated thrusts that rewrite every tactical assumption the galaxy holds. They don't target population centers. They don't target infrastructure. They target control, data nexuses, command relays, political cores. Systems that have never seen war suddenly find Marines standing in their halls, calm, armed, disciplined. The message is always the same. Stand down. Most do. Some don't. Those systems don't get a second warning. The directive silence platform is hidden in a starless void between sectors, shielded by layers of misdirection and denial fields. The Council believes it untouchable. They forgot one thing. Earth-trained hunters. An exile strike group breaches the void using navigation instincts evolved for asteroid mazes and gravity storms. Human Marines follow, silent as vacuum. The platform never detects them. You're there when they reach the core. A chamber built for annihilation. Cold, sterile, arrogant. Council security forces make their stand. Advanced weapons. Numerical superiority. Absolute confidence. They fall anyway. Not because the exiles are stronger, but because they fight together. The final Council representative activates a transmission. Its voice trembles despite its composure. You cannot win, it says. The galaxy will never accept you. You look at it, then at the exile beside you, then at the human Marines behind you. We're not asking to be accepted, you reply. The platform doesn't explode. You don't need spectacle. You need permanence. Its core is dismantled piece by piece. Every schematic copied, every secret archived. The weapon is rendered unusable forever. When the news breaks, the galaxy fractures. Council authority collapses overnight. Client species rebel. Occupied systems declare independence. Neutral worlds open channels to Earth. They don't ask for conquest. They ask for protection. Earth refuses to rule. Instead, It offers something unprecedented. A charter, not of dominance, of defense. The Marine Accords. Any species willing to stand by its people, any world willing to reject abandonment as policy, may join. No exile, no dumping grounds, no monsters, only Marines. Years pass. The war becomes history, and legend, and doctrine. You retire eventually, not because you're tired, because you're done. Earth doesn't need heroes anymore. It has institutions. On a quiet evening, you walk along a shoreline beside an exile you once fought beside. The stars are calm. The galaxy still whispers. They feared us, the exile says. You nod. They feared what they created, you answer. Somewhere in the rebuilt archives of the former council, a single term remains unclassified. A warning added long after the war ended. It reads, "Do not exile your monsters. They may find a home. And if they do, pray they choose to protect it." Earth never sought to dominate the stars. It simply refused to abandon those cast aside. And in doing so, taught the galaxy what humanity fights for.